Well, when you listen to the press conference announcing charges against Tyler Robinson, particularly at the state level in Utah, it sounds like an open and shut case, doesn't it? Surveillance footage, text messages, parents that turned him in, an exit wound right out of the neck or shot in the neck, all from the front, all pretty straightforward. DNA evidence right on the trigger of the gun. They find the gun. They find shell casings with Antifa messages written on them. So done. Move along here. Nothing to see. The text messages seem like they're pretty darn damning, laying everything out exactly how he did it, his regrets about doing it, how he felt like he needed to do it, all of it. So just move along, right?
It's a very complete story.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Well, are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied?
I don't know. I'm not satisfied, but there's emerging video evidence and inconsistencies that paint a totally different picture here, raise questions. Was this guy a patsy, that he had perhaps nothing to do with it at all? For one thing, the FBI only released a video that shows the alleged shooter running, but the camera on the building would have shown him laying in a prone position, firing the shot, as you can see here on your screen. So we only get after this individual is running. We don't get him laying in a prone position. We certainly don't get him firing a gun, even though the camera was pointed in that position and would have absolutely covered the prone position of this shooter. The FBI's own video they released on their YouTube channel doesn't show it, but it's alleged in the indictment. They say it, and the Utah state prosecutors say it as well, that they had elbow prints, they have knee prints. And he was laying in a prone position and fired this kill shot. One shot. That's all it took. He even saved the shell casing that was found later in the forest because it's a bolt-action rifle, so you don't pop it out. It would have stayed inside of the rifle. Then they chose, though, to cut off the first few seconds of this video. We'd love to see the actual footage of this, show us him laying there. The thing is, it's happening right at the exact same moment that Charlie Kirk is being shot. When we see him running, we know this because of the timestamp. When you see, of course, the rooftop shot from inside the walkway in the cafe area of the campus. We match that with the video, of course, from inside the university walkway, and you can see him already sprinting as people are ducking. He's already in full sprint as people begin to duck. So he picks up the rifle and runs at just a full sprint, and the people are just now reacting to this. Again,
now, do
show
we
us the
have
footage.
the video of him jumping? Because I also have questions about that. When he jumps off, there is a lot of commotion already in the quad area because a shot's been fired and someone's been killed over dead. Why are the people in the background walking so casually at a casual gait if just a corner away from them people are screaming and running and those people are just walking casually? Does that make sense to you?
There's a lot that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, and what kind of gun? Did he throw the gun down? Did it adjust the scope as he throws it off the roof there? Was he carrying the gun at all? It appears that he is, if you look at the high-def version of this. But interestingly, the FBI's own website on their own YouTube channel shows this. After he shot and killed Charlie Kirk, he jumped off the roof and ran away. He left a gun and ammunition in a wooded area near the university. This is the YouTube video that the FBI published initially. And I hadn't caught this before, but they're saying clearly in this video, he shot and killed Charlie Kirk. He, in this video, is the one that we're after. He jumped off and ran away. He shot and killed Charlie Kirk. Well, how do you know that at this point when you publish this video? How do you know that he's the one specifically that shot and killed Charlie Kirk? Where in this video does it show it? Please show it to us. So the FBI's own YouTube channel says this. There's a lot of other evidence I want to get to here in a moment. But I do want to bring in an ex-prosecutor, U.S. Marine, John Deaton, former U.S. Senate candidate who knows these things inside and out, both from the defense position and on the offensive position as a prosecutor. John, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So I guess when you're as a defender, as a defense attorney specifically, maybe put on your defense attorney hat for a second here, and you're looking at this indictment both at the federal level, at the state level, you see a lot of loopholes here. What are they?
Well, the first thing is we've learned that the suspect, this guy, has not cooperated. So if that's true, then there's no confession. Normally in a situation like this, the FBI would rush to get a confession, which alleviates a lot of the loopholes that you're starting to point at. And so really what you're engaging here doing right now for your audience is exactly asking questions, where the dots, the government cannot connect. And listen, to execute someone, you're going to have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So the government's going to have to answer some of these questions. Where is the rifle? Where's the videos? Defense attorney, first thing I'm going to want to do is hit the government with discovery request that says, give me every video. What about neighborhood cameras, all the Ring cameras? And then you start basically working backwards to establish a timeline and whether or not you can poke reasonable doubt holes in that timeline.
Have you guys heard of bearskin hoodie? I'm sure you have. You see me wearing it right now. I love this thing. And so many of my friends have bought them. They absolutely love them. These things are like a tank. People are buying their winter gear right now, and you're going to get an unbelievable discount if you just pay attention to what I'm about to tell you here. You get 60% off. These things are fantastic. Everyone in my family now has one, and they love them. My son loves it, and you have these removable patches you can get right on their website, too. You want to put a flag there, which I have. Also put the Don't Tread on Me patch right here on the side. Bearskin makes incredible stuff. They're running a 60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early. This hoodie is built like a tank. 340 GSM micro fleece, 10 pockets, clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. It's brilliantly sturdy. This hoodie is built really strong. Plus it zips right into heavy storm rain jacket as well. So you can slide it right inside if you want to put that shell over top of it if it's going to be a rainy day. So it doesn't matter if it's cold, wet, windy, you're not scrambling last minute if you got your bearskin hoodie right now. You'll get it free U.S. shipping, fast delivery, and you'll lock in your winter gear early. That's right. It's a win-win. So do yourself a favor. Text the word. All you need to do is grab your phone and text the word redacted to 36912, and that'll unlock your 60% off right there. Again, text the word redacted to 36912, and you'll get a link which will be sent straight to your phone. You can check it out later if you're busy right now. Don't try to do this if you're driving or something else. But try it later when you're home on the couch. Don't wait until you're freezing to realize that your hoodie sucks. Grab a bearskin right now. It's 60% off. Text the word redacted to 36912. Our thanks to Bearskin. I'm just very focused on this indictment and the loopholes that defense would have to push here, because you're already seeing the lack of evidence from the video side. We're seeing there was a camera right behind Charlie Kirk. Where is that video evidence that would show the trajectory of the bullets? There's apparently a TPUSA individual who took the camera down, has that information. You can see here he grabs it right out of the back of the tent and then puts it in a bag. I know Candace Owens has been asking, hey, can we see this footage, please? It would certainly answer the questions which trajectory this bullet came from. In addition to which, we also have now evidence that the university has already been doing construction work on the exact site. So we have overhead camera footage now showing like they're actively almost like taking over this crime scene. I mean, this is to my mind still a crime scene. So now the university is already paving over this entire area. What would you say as a defense attorney?
I would say that the first motions I would be filing was a spoliation motion under the law. And if the government can't produce that evidence, then you would get a spoliation charge where the judge would say to the jury, the government did not secure this evidence. You can assume that it was not in favor of the government's theory of the case, and therefore the evidence has been spoiled. You can, as a defense attorney, I would zero in on the person jumping off the roof saying, where is the gun? And then you break it down in the milliseconds of he didn't have time to break that rifle down. The rifle would not fit in his backpack regardless. Where is the rifle? And, that's one big issue where then you start getting a chalkboard and saying reasonable doubt number one, reasonable doubt number two, and you just list out all this evidence piecemeal.
Now, I have one more question about how the FBI is kind of peeing in the pool here, because they're showing up for media appearances, which continues to change the narrative. Kash Patel even saying he was there to begin with is getting in the way of investigators. What does that hand a defense in terms of what they're saying? I mean, we all know any kind of litigation, you need to be quiet to make your best case.
Absolutely. And the fact that Kash Patel tweeted out immediately that they had the suspect when in fact they didn't. They had that George Zinn fella, the elderly guy, acting as a decoy. You can make a big mountain of evidence just out of that. And then you start getting into other theories of alternate explanations that caused Charlie death, a rush to judgment. Listen, this isn't a slam dunk. And listen, Charlie Kirk deserves justice. Anyone who was in there deserves justice, be brought to justice, I should say, that was involved in this assassination. But, you know, Kash Patel, quite frankly, objectively, is getting in his own way.
So what you're saying to us, sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to ask you before we let you go here, from a Marine perspective, that's, you know, part of your background as well, not just as a prosecutor and a defense attorney. But when you see that timeline and you see this individual in full sprint mode, and when you match up the timestamps and seeing he's in full sprint mode when the people in the audience are just about to start ducking, like, does that comport with what your experience in the military would be? Sort of a pop up and take off really that fast with a rifle after a shot like that?
No, not at all. And that's what I meant by they're going to, a defense attorney will slow the video up and highlight everything that you're highlighting to drive that reasonable doubt. But it doesn't match your own common sense. And then obviously you're going to get trained professionals as expert witnesses who can also poke holes in it that it's just inconsistent with reality.
All right. John Deaton, we appreciate you joining us as we're unpacking this, but something just is not adding up here. And we're hearing from judges and lawyers, just like yourself, who are saying there's a lot of problems with this case right now. You know, so we're going to see if this individual walks free because they've screwed this up so badly. John, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.